Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
And guess what? Alaina's not going to make us wait for part 2.
I'm not.
You get it the very next business day.
The very next day!
Today's not even a business day, so you're welcome.
Wow, look at that.
No, it's a business day for us.
It is. It's always a business day for us. And I figured we were initially going to have Ash do her episode because usually, as you know, I don't know if you're new here, but if you're not, you know that we switch on and off. It's my time, it's her time, it's my time, it's her time.
I decided maybe I should also do some work for this podcast.
Well, it was supposed to be Ash's turn now to do her case, but we decided why have a case in between part 1 and 2? Normally I would do that because it's fun. To make everybody be like, what the fuck? But
what the fuck?
I feel like this one, you need the closure.
I need the closure on this real bad. So
and
I
need
really
the
happy.
closure. Like, I need out of this case now. So I was like, I'm going to soft shoe right out of here after this.
I feel that. Also, I feel like all of a sudden my voice is very
it's very sensual.
Is it so sensual? No, it's because I just made cupcakes, I think. And whenever okay, let me explain. Whenever I use the oven in my apartment, because my apartment is so small, it gets really dry in here.
No, that makes sense. It's just
my voice is sensual because I made cupcakes.
I think my voice is sensual because I just made cupcakes.
And it fills me with sensual.
It does. It's sensual. Plural. I love it. Oh, man. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Hello.
So, hey, Ash has a TikTok now.
Yeah, I caved.
She caved.
I made one because I saw this TikTok and it was like what you would look like as a celebrity. And my dumbass thought that the filter actually picked your celebrity for you, but it doesn't.
It doesn't.
And then I was like, oh, well, everybody says that I look like Brienne of Tarth, aka Gwendolyn Christie. I knew it was Christie. I paused for some reason.
What?
So I made one of those morph things and I was like, well, shit, I can't deny this any
longer.
longer.
She looks and Gwendolyn Christie is a goddess, which is why you look like her.
Thank you.
Goddesses.
And then one of Alaina's girls had a really good week this week, and she asked me if I would make her rainbow cupcakes, and I was like, yeah. So I made a TikTok of me making those and then shoving one into my face. You're welcome.
It's real hot girl shit.
Can't talk right now. I'm doing hot girl shit. So yeah, I'm a TikToker now.
You're a TikToker now. What's your TikTok name?
Ashley Kelley 3, because Ash Kell was apparently taken, so fuck you to whoever my doppelganger is.
Wow, fuck you, Ash Kell.
But it's Ashley, ASHLEIGHKELLEY 3. Also, I can't wait to see a negative review on iTunes that's like, oh my god, who cares what your TikTok name is?
Whatever, man. I have a TikTok, but I don't have anything on my TikTok. I just use it to follow other TikToks. But maybe I'll put one on it because Ash made me
it's fun.
I was like, maybe. And I have an idea for one. And I feel like it'll be like perfectly you and I.
Yeah, I think our separate TikToks
are going to be.
It'll be funny.
Yeah.
I also, well, I've always like wanted to do a YouTube channel, but I feel like I don't have the time at all.
No.
So I feel like TikTok is a really good way to like be able to use that as like a makeup and hair outlet.
Oh, I think that would be perfect for
and
you.
then
Yeah.
just throw them on there, and it's like not as time consuming.
Yeah.
And then you can do your hot girl shit.
I can do my hot girl shit.
Maybe
which
we
is
should
what I'm
make
known
one
for.
for Morbid.
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should make one for Morbid. I think it'll be
the
fun.
outtakes.
Yeah.
Morbid the outtakes. Can we call it that?
I mean, maybe.
You don't like that? No.
Maybe.
When Alaina says maybe, I know it means no. It's like when your mom's like, yeah, maybe you can get your belly
you're like,
button
no.
pierced. No.
Maybe we'll make a Morbid one, though. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah, so I just want to throw that out because I think Ash is going to make good TikToks.
Thank you.
And but I think now we can just move right on to part 2 of the Oklahoma Girl Scout murders.
Yeah, I think I was putting that off.
Time to wrap this all up. Now, I want to warn you, there's no real like closure here.
Awesome.
So
Thank you.
but we're, you're all going to get to the point where I'm at. So that's nice for me. So we can all be
We can all just shake our heads and fists together.
We can all be in this together. So I think when we left off, where did we leave off? So we left off when the manhunt was really starting.
Yeah.
When they had so Sheriff Weaver had really zeroed in on Gene Leroy Hart, and he was totally sure that this was the guy. He had eluded him for 4 years before this. He had escaped his own jail twice.
I was going to say twice.
Yeah, he's a rapist, a brutal rapist of 2 pregnant women. He attempted to murder both of them by putting fucking duct tape over their heads and covering their mouth and noses and blindfolding them and leaving them like next to a pond somewhere. He tried to murder them. Luckily, they escaped.
Yeah, he's a monster. Regardless of whether he did this or not, he's a monster.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that, like, this guy definitely, and we're going to see it in this part too, that Sheriff Weaver definitely has a thing for this guy, which you can understand.
Yeah.
And I think it does cloud his ability to allow the investigation to unfold how it could have unfolded.
I could see that.
And I think we're going to see that he makes a couple of what I believe are fatal errors to this case. And it's because I think he wanted to move it along, but,
Well, and you were saying, like, you put all, like, the super condemning evidence in part 1.
Yeah.
But now there's a
couple of things that are going to make you go, eh. So I want to start this off by saying that I do believe Gene Leroy Hart had something to do with this.
Yeah.
Do I believe he acted alone? I don't know.
I don't think he did.
there might be more people involved here. I do believe he had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And also, I just wanted to quickly say, I pronounced the Kiowa tribe wrong. I said Kiowa. So somebody very nicely was like, oh, hey, it's the Kiowa. And I was like, oh, my goodness. And you know what's crazy?
Oh, my goodness.
I looked up the pronunciation ahead of time, clearly saw that it said... heard that it said Kiowa, but you know how when you've pronounced something in your own head too many times wrong,
it negates it.
Even after you hear the correct pronunciation, you just say. So I fell into that, and I apologize. But it's the Kiowa tribe. That's what the tent was named after. That's what the unit was named after.
Okay.
So yeah, just wanted to put that out there. But so at this point in the investigation, they haven't found Gene Leroy Hart yet. They brought in the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations at this point. We're going to call them the OSBI because it's a long thing to say.
Yeah.
So what they found was that they said there were 3 fingerprints found on the bodies, which, great. That's what we're looking for. We want that shit. And they said there was a couple more in the tent, but they were all kind of like a little smudgy, but they were going to see what they could do with them. There was also hair that was like black hair stuck in the tape that was used to bind the girls. And they couldn't really do a whole lot with that either at the time, but they end up being able to.
Oh, that's good.
It doesn't really help a ton, unfortunately, because hair evidence is like, wah, wah.
Yeah.
But,
Because I feel like a lot of times with hair evidence, it's like, there's like a 98.9% chance that somebody with this hair, but like, hair isn't super different.
And it's like,
from person to person.
They used to think that like the microscopic view of hair and like the comparison that way was like a very big piece of evidence.
But it's actually not.
But I think it was like 2005 15, I believe it is, or might even been a little earlier than that, they decided that it's kind of shit evidence. It's like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, it doesn't really do a whole lot in this case. They think it does for a little while, and then it's like, nah. So just to give you a little background on Gene Leroy Hart here, just so you know who we're working with. I already told you what his crimes were. At the time, he was 33 when these murders occurred. He was in school. He was like a football star.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like a huge football star at Locust Grove High School. All of his teachers and his coaches said that they were shocked that he turned into the kind of person he did, because they said in high school he was kind, sweet, well-mannered.
Weird.
Totally fine. His coaches said that he was like a great listener. He was just like took direction. He was a good-looking guy, everybody said, who everyone just enjoyed being around. Nobody really had a whole lot of bad things to say about him. He was also known as an expert woodsman. He knew how to survive in any land, and especially the land that was surrounding Camp Scott, because that was Cherokee land. He had grown up in there. He had all his family were there. He knew that land like the back of his hand, which is important.
I like that rhymed.
Land, back of hand, yes. So June 23rd, 1977, a farm owner saw a man that he said matched Hart's description. He said he saw him sitting in a cave little thing, because there's a ton of caves around here that even investigators said they had no idea existed. There's
That's
more than
really
they
creepy.
ever knew existed in here. And of course, somebody who knows the land around there would know where all of these
Also,
were.
imagine having the balls to live in a cave.
To live in several caves, too. This guy, because remember, in the first part, just in case you need like a little catch up, they found another cave on like very close to Camp Scott that had all this stuff in it, like the newspaper that matched the newspaper that was in the flashlight found with the girls. They found eyeglasses.
Notes.
They found notes that were saying the killer was here. They found photographs from a wedding that they traced back to Hart, saying that he had developed them while in prison.
That alone like really kind of like sealed the deal for me.
That one really connects it, but what we'll see is that does get questioned at some point. How the validity of that, but we'll see.
Okay.
So this farmer saw this guy that he said matched Hart's description sitting in a cave just 2 miles west of Camp Scott.
Oh, wow.
So he said he was walking around like the perimeter of his own farm, as farmers do.
As Farmer Joe does.
I think that's just a farmer thing. You just walk the perimeter,
With your cattle.
With your cattle.
And your overalls.
There you go. And your overalls.
And your straw.
Yeah, and your straw. You're right. And your hat.
Yes.
To protect your head from the sun.
And your cowboy boots.
Your cowboy boots. I love how that just turned. It was like a farmer, then it went to cowboy. I love it. So he said he was walking around the perimeter. He happened to spot this man sitting under like some kind of like, it's like a cave, like a rock formation almost. It like kind of works as a cave. And he said he was just like sitting right underneath it. He immediately went back to his farmhouse and he called the police. Because he was like, this guy looks like that guy that you're looking for.
Yeah.
The man was gone when the police arrived.
Oh, come on.
But they were able to look into his cave thing, and they said they found some things of note. So Officer Harvey Pratt was on scene for this, and he was also a Cherokee Native American. So he said, and this is important because he noticed that there was a formation in this cave that he had lit like 4 small fires in a formation, so you could see the ashes of them. And he said there was also, they were lit with cedar wood, so that was important. And there was a grouping of cigarette butts with the filters torn off, and they were in the middle of all these fires.
That's weird.
Yeah. And he said that this is actually indicative of some kind of ceremony.
Oh.
Like the cedar wood, the formation of the fires, the like way that those things were arranged. So he said, this to me tells me that it's somebody who at least is familiar with Native American culture.
Right.
Was doing something to do with that ceremony. And also the saliva was taken from the cigarette butts and it showed type O blood. What? It wasn't me. But
was it O negative or O positive?
I'm not sure exactly if it was O negative or positive. I could never find that, but it was type O, and Hart has type O blood.
Oh,
and
shit.
as we know, type O blood,
rare.
Very rare. If it was type O negative, very rare.
You know who else is O negative is Annie.
And me.
And you.
Heyo.
I think everybody knows that you are.
Hero's blood, right over here. Need some blood? I got some. Don't give me any, though. I can't take any.
Well, you could take O negative.
I can take O negative if you got that. You got that?
You and Annie can swap blood.
We can. That's nice.
That's weird.
That's a nice thing to know.
It is.
That's nice. So they also found a boot print in the cave, and it matched the impression of the boot print that was found in blood in the victim's tent.
Oh.
If you remember, there was that military-style boot print. Same exact pattern, same exact size. The boot print was size 9.5. The problem here is Hart wore an 11.5 size boot.
Okay.
So that tells me
He didn't
someone
work alone.
else was with him, I
Yeah.
feel. And it really gives credence to that idea that I feel like he was involved because he's too involved in all of this, and it just makes a lot of sense, but not the only one. Mm-hmm. And I think they were zeroing too hard into just him and not looking outside to see if there was more. So everyone was sent out of Camp Scott because at that point they had collected all the evidence they felt they could collect. But they had like a command post set up there that they were doing everything. But they took all the law enforcement out of there. But then they wanted to keep the scene secured, obviously, in case they had to go back. They didn't want people just walking through there. So they had a security company like set up, a command post there just to watch the area.
Right.
Until
make sure
they
nobody
were sure.
goes in there.
Yeah, just to make sure that, just in case they have to go back and all that. So they set up, and a ton of shit went down while they were there.
Oh, damn.
So they said they would see a lot of fresh footprints around, like someone was still walking around the area, and they would hear things. So they were like, someone was still stalking this place.
That's so spooky.
Doors would be left open that were previously shut. They would see silhouettes of people in the woods, and then they would send their sniffer dogs out to try to get the trail. And they would go, and sometimes they would like follow a trail of like a scent, and then it would just stop. So they were like, shit, they can never really find who this was.
That's so bizarre.
Which you wonder if it's like, this could be an outdoorsman who knows how to cover a scent.
Right.
Like to a point. So
or
it
the
lets it
Golden
go.
State Killer.
Exactly. So one time, though, a dog was sent up ahead to go follow the scent and returned, like, totally shaken up and appeared to have been bludgeoned on its head
No.
by someone. And they couldn't find who did it. They couldn't find it. That's
crazy. That he was that close to somebody. And they were so close. Because obviously you don't let the dog go, like, too far ahead,
Exactly.
Right?
And apparently they started using like string that they would put like through trees to try to see, because at one point they were like, are we going crazy? Are we just like spookied out by this whole experience in this environment because like 3 girls got murdered here? Are we just like freaking out?
It would be freaky.
So they were like, let's put these strings across like trees and trails and stuff, like really thin string, so that if people are walking, they're not going to see it, but they're going to walk through it. And then we'll be able to tell if somebody has been through here.
Right.
Well, they started doing that. These threads were breaking.
Oh, shit.
So somebody was walking around.
Oh, my God. I hate this so much.
Well, while the guards, this is insane. And this was real. I will post the newspaper article and everything.
What?
While these guards are here watching the camp, so they set up the main area that they were going to be watching. They set it in the director's office.
Okay.
And one night they were startled by something in the woods. They thought they saw a man in the woods. And so they went out to check it once again. Couldn't find anything. But once they returned, they noticed on the front steps of the camp director's office, there was a bag with something inside that wasn't there when they left.
What?
So they open it, and inside was a soaking wet pair of little girls' shoes with pink socks inside of them.
Okay, that's
inside the
so
shoes,
scary.
The handwritten name, Denise Milner. Denise's mother said those shoes were her shoes, and they said they were not in the items returned to her, so the killer could have had, like, that was the killer.
Oh, my God.
Who had them and then put them on the camp director's steps, probably to be like, hey, fuckers, you can keep these girls safe, and look, I'm still fucking with you.
Wow.
Like, returned her soaking wet shoes and socks.
Ugh, that is such a yucky feeling right now.
It's insane.
Holy, and the fact that they just missed him by like,
oh, it's unreal.
How did they not cross paths?
And because I was like, what the fuck? I was like, because of course, then people are trying to be like, well, were those shoes just like left there? Did somebody pull it like a prank? Did what happen? And it's like, no, you can't. Her mother said those are her shoes. Like, I know those are, they're like, her name is written in them.
Yeah.
I know it.
Right.
And then I found an article from the Tulsa Tribune that was entitled Shoes Mysteriously Appear at Scout Death Scene. Uh-huh. And it says, Tom Kennedy, deputy director of the OSBI, said today 2 pairs of shoes with Denise Milner's name on them are in the evidence files at the Oklahoma City office of the Crime Bureau. And he said any shoes that might have been found Thursday were not there the day we originally investigated the case. I'm sure we have never seen these shoes before. They are not part of our evidence. Meaning, because people were like, well, wait, were they part, like, did somebody fuck up at the crime lab and, like, forget those shoes? Or did they come out of evidence and somebody was pulling a prank? Did they get stolen? And what he's saying is no.
They were never evidence in the first place.
We picked up all evidence. We picked up 2 of her shoes that day. Those shoes were not there that day.
So they were,
and her mom's like, those are her shoes.
Ugh. So they were with her stuff and he just took them that night.
And the killer took them that night.
Well, and think of all the other stuff he took. I mean, like the denim purse, the eyeglasses, a bunch of stuff was missing. That is scary. And they were bloody, you said?
They were soaking wet.
Oh, soaking wet.
But the night that they were murdered,
it
was soaking, and they had been soaked coming from dinner.
Right.
So those could have been the shoes that were soaking wet, or it's somebody who's living outside, and those shoes got soaking wet during another storm.
This entire case is just so fucking creepy.
That's some like horror movie shit.
That brings creepy to another level.
That's horror movie shit.
Wow.
That's not even real. So then, at some point, Sheriff Weaver, which I'm like, Sheriff Weaver, like, rest in peace. He's not alive anymore. But it's like,
what
bro,
did he do? What he do?
It's again,
what did he do?
Yeah. So he announces to the press that he was like, guys, we have the murder weapon. And everybody's like, oh, awesome. Like, what is it? But the OSBI and the district attorney, the Oklahoma district attorney, are like,
no,
we have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, no. You can't do that.
Like, what? So Weaver is said that the crowbar that was found was the weapon, but there was no solid evidence to prove this. Like, sure, it seems likely, like, maybe.
Yeah.
Sure. But there was also evidence that there were several weapons used, and there was literally nothing to say that that was the weapon. They could not, like, say that. Mm-hmm. So it seems to me, and, like, he did, and later, I think, eventually the district attorney, Sid Wise, came out, I think it was, like, the next day, and was like, yeah, Sheriff Weaver was mistaken. That was not, so, like, he just said it.
You can't just say shit like that.
And to me, it seems very reminiscent of the West Memphis 3 case, where I understand why you want to solve a case like this. It's 3 children who were murdered.
Right.
I get that.
In both cases.
You want to solve that shit, and it's exactly like Gary Gitchell in the West Memphis 3 case. Mm-hmm. He wants to be the one to solve it. He wants to take the person off the street. He wants to say he did it. Mm-hmm. He wants to make these parents chill. He wants to make everybody not scared.
Right.
So he's like, we got to solve this. We got to solve this. And it just seems like they rush to close these cases so quick. As soon as something looks good, it's like, that's it.
Right, but you have to, like, double check and, like, look
sloppy.
into other people.
Yeah, it gets sloppy. And it makes sense why they want to do this. I get it. When it comes to kids, it's like high emotions, high everything.
Right.
But you just got to step back for a second and be like, but if I'm just closing this to close it, and am I really doing anyone a favor here?
Right.
If I'm not taking the right people off the streets, like in my opinion, in the West Memphis 3 case.
Well, because you're not doing
the
anything
killers
to help
are still walking around out there, in my opinion. So,
are they?
I'm like, in my opinion, they are. One of them, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah, he's still kicking.
I forgot that.
So,
anyways, bye.
But yeah, so I think this was one of those cases which, it's not the exact same because I think Gene Hart had something to do with it, but. It just, I don't think the scope was too big enough.
Well, so what did he say that the murder weapon was?
So he had said that crowbar was it.
Oh, okay.
But that nobody ever determined if it was. They were unable to really determine what the murder weapon was because it was like bludgeoning. So I think it was hard to figure out.
Well, and if you think about it, if there was multiple people working together, there's probably multiple murder weapons.
Well, that's what they said. They know there was multiple weapons used and like left hand, right hand, and all that. So they're like, yeah, sure, that could have been it, but like
that was maybe one of them.
And you can't say that if there's no evidence to prove that. You have to have evidence to back it up, like a handprint or something, or like be able to show that is what that made that wound. You know?
Right.
But they did not. So the dogs, remember the Wonder Dogs?
Yeah, how could I forget?
Dogs? So those dogs were sent out again. They actually hit on a pond, a scent for Hart, on a pond on Jack Schroff's property, that farmer who had the shit stolen from him.
And the murder, like the tape and everything.
Yeah, like the tape
what was used.
And it was on his pond. It was a pond on his property where Gene Leroy Hart had taken those pregnant women to dump them and let them die. That's where he had put them.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So they were like, that's weird that the scent just brought us back here. So some of the parents actually, because right now it's like the biggest manhunt in Oklahoma history at this point. So some of the parents actually joined in the hunt for the killer, specifically Richard Gousset, who later we're going to see that Richard Gousset really like did the damn thing. I believe he passed away a couple years ago.
Oh.
But like he really like
That was
turned-
Michelle's dad, right?
That was Michelle's dad, and he really took this experience, and he said at first it like really ruined him, and then he just took it and did great things with it. So we'll see that after. But he really took part in this, and he said that he needed to be part of the people who took his daughter's killer down. He was like, I want to be there when they get him.
Absolutely.
So hundreds of volunteers searched the area. On June 26th, they found something interesting. It was in an area referred to as Skunk Mountain. I wonder why they named it that.
I don't know.
Maybe there's a lot of deer there. So this area was only within a mile of Camp Scott. Again, everything's like really close. And they found 2 men's jackets, a t-shirt with rust-colored stains on it.
So you mean blood?
So blood, and a pair of jeans. They also found a ton of trash and things like beer and soda cans and egg cartons. So it's becoming clear that a man or several people are living in this area and camping out right around Camp Scott.
Right.
Way too close to this camp to be fucking undetected for this long.
Well, and the fact that the whole, like, they set up the bureau to
Yeah.
keep tabs on them, and he was right there.
He was literally right there.
I meant to say, too, why would you not, like, have one person stay?
Yeah.
Or, like, 1 or 2 people stay?
just to see
like,
what happens.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
And I wonder if they did that, but then that one time they didn't have someone stay, and
Yeah.
that's when he left it.
Right.
But it's like, so this whole time, no one is checking to see if the perimeter around Camp Scott, where these children are going to be sleeping in fucking
Is
fabric
safe.
tents, maybe you should see if people are living in the woods. I don't know. Like, to
Probably.
me, that's, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a helicopter camp counselor
No,
over
you know-
here, but like, I feel like that's something you should do.
What you would do, I would think, is have, like, a few golf carts and, like, a couple security
Yeah.
guys just going through the woods all the time on different
Exactly.
shifts.
Security people, that's what they do. They stay up all night and they
Yeah.
watch shit out for you.
And
That's
it's, like, it doesn't
they'd
have to
happy.
be the same person, obviously.
No, take shifts. You can
Right.
do it. Or fucking counselors. That's somebody take the night shift and you all
Right.
have to take shifts. Like,
Right.
It's just insane.
If
to
anything,
me.
you would think a camp like that would have some kind of security.
And it's
and
like
there was
they had
none.
nothing. They had
None.
nothing.
And
People could
when
just
I
walk
saw
in.
the picture of
Yeah.
the tent, I was like, are you kidding me?
The tent.
And then we had a couple people write in and say, like, they had family members that were at that camp
Yeah.
and, like, in those tents. And
Yes.
then a bunch of people were like, oh, I slept in tents just like that. I was like, bless your soul. I
Yeah,
would never.
I'm so glad you're here today to tell that tale.
I would
because
never.
holy. And then somebody had said, and I just saw it, and I can't remember your name. I'm sorry, but she said that she was supposed to go to that camp
When you
on
told me
that this same session, and that she backed out right before because she didn't want to leave her mom. And I was like, bless you.
Literally.
I'm so glad that you had that like gut feeling and that you didn't go and that you're here today and that I can talk to you. Hello.
Right?
I know you're listening. Hello.
No,
I'm
it's
so glad you're
true.
here. And a couple of people said they had family members who were either in the camp, like in that camp with those kids.
Yep.
Some people said they grew up with Lori. They like knew her. Oh, like
Yeah, somebody knew
so
Lori's
many people
sister.
were like, we're part of this,
Connected.
and we're saying that this is like haunted them. And
a
I was
lot of
like,
weirdos are connected to this
yeah,
case.
it's crazy. So like, it's really nuts. It's nuts. And a lot of people were like, "You guys are really terrified of camping. Like, are you okay?" And I was like,
No, I'm not okay.
I can't.
I'm not okay.
I don't. We have episodes that are called "Don't Go in the Woods, Man."
Yeah, like I don't go in the woods.
And
man.
don't worry, we'll do another episode of "Don't Go in the Woods, Man" because I'm feeling it now.
Seriously.
Feeling it hard. So at various points, the rewards for the capture of Gene Leroy Hart or information at all they were raised, they were lowered, they were everywhere. Girl Scouts around the U.S. actually raised upwards of like $15,000 for information.
Oh.
Yeah, so like people were really invested in this.
Right.
And at different times, the district attorney Sid Wise, Sheriff Weaver, and the OSBI all gave conflicting information about suspects.
Awesome.
So like, this wasn't a very smoothly run operation.
No.
So Sid Wise, the district attorney, said at one point there was no suspects.
Okay.
At one point. And then Sheriff Weaver was like, no, there's only one.
And
of course it's Gene Leroy
yeah.
Hart. And the OSBI was like, no, there's 3. So everybody was like,
But how many though?
those are 3 different amounts. Can we like average it out or something?
What is the mean?
Yeah, I was like, what is the mean? Tell me.
I said that to Annie the other day and she was like, what?
Hashtag math.
Yeah. I loved math.
I actually loved doing that stuff, like mean and average. And
I like math in
Yeah, I like
general,
that.
which is weird because I feel like you wouldn't expect a bitch like me to like math,
you
but
like
I do.
those numbers.
I do.
But yeah, so then they had to come out and like literally the very next day, Sidwise was like, oh no, we have a suspect. And it's like, guys, can we all just like talk to each, can you guys get walkie talkies or something and just be like, hey, what are you going to say to the press tomorrow?
10-4 over.
Instead of just all being like 3, I think.
0?
1. It's like none of you are, what are the odds that none of you
know?
even landed on the same number?
Do we know who the 3 suspects were in the OSBI's eyes?
We really don't, because they do look at a couple of other people, which we'll mention at the end, but no one pans out super well.
Okay.
So there's a lot of weird.
I just don't understand how they're like right in the woods, but they can't get them.
Yeah,
like,
they just can't get them.
I don't really get that.
Can't get them. So there are now reports coming from all over saying that they're seeing Hart all around the camp. So now people are like, we got to step up this. Like, he's in these woods. We have to get him.
So scary.
And so now there's a huge search that is organized with 200 law enforcement officials and over 400 volunteers, like civilian volunteers.
Because this was like, what did you say, like in the beginning, like 100 acres or something like that?
Oh, it's a 410 acre camp.
That's
so
it?
it's a pretty
Remember when I said like I
pretty
didn't
big area.
understand how they couldn't find
yeah,
him?
there's that.
I'd like to retract my statement.
I'd like to gently pull that statement
Strike
back.
that from the record.
Not going to re-gift that one. So, yeah, so they were going out searching for this. They were instructed that this was a search and not to bring weapons because they didn't want people just willy-nilly shooting people. And actually, the members of the American Indian Movement, AIM, they actually came forward and were like, we're going to monitor this and just make sure that nobody's like taking their like frustration out or anything, you know what I mean? Like, we just want to make sure. And they did. They were just they were like monitoring.
Yeah.
And a lot of the searchers actually were super drunk. A lot of them could like barely stand up. They did bring weapons, a lot of them. Okay. So it was a little bit of a gnarly search.
Let's get it together, everybody.
Some of them even got arrested themselves, the searchers.
For like public intoxication,
drug possession, all kinds of shit.
Guys.
And it's like, can you take like maybe a couple hours out of your day and not be like a giant fuck up? Can you like, just get it together real quick?
Because
just
the other thing
just
is
march in a line for like 2 minutes.
Well, and the other thing is this is like to not find children, but to find
somebody who potentially murdered 3 children.
Right. Like, let's take that a little more serious.
Maybe step back from your own vices for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then go crazy.
Also,
go
you're
home,
helping the police.
Do
What are
whatever
you
gotta
doing
do.
bringing drugs whilst helping the police?
That's what kills me. I'm
That doesn't
like,
make any
guys,
sense.
like, the last thing they need to do while they're searching for this guy for a killer of 3 innocent babies is arrest your drunk ass.
Right.
Or your dumb ass who just brought like a bag of cocaine into the woods with you.
That's
like, what
stupid.
are you doing?
But then you think back then, people were probably getting arrested for like weed.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it was.
So it's like,
I'm
you know how
sure
many
it was,
times
like-
I've had weed in my
Yeah,
bag?
but it's also just like, can you leave it at home for like a minute?
Yeah,
it's
no.
just going.
No, you're right.
You're searching for a murderer, a child murderer.
You don't need that.
It's just a lot.
You might need that, actually.
So you do. Yeah, you might actually need. Now I'd be like, take it with you.
Yeah.
You're fine. But then it's like you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
So when the search kind of turned up really nothing of importance because everybody was like slobbering all over themselves and shooting guns in the air,
Good.
They brought in heat sensor technology that they put on National Guard helicopters and they were flying it over the property.
Well, that's cool as shit.
Yeah, and they were basically able to determine the difference between like a human and an animal by their heat profile.
Wow. I don't.
Yeah.
I have never heard of that.
Like science.
That's
you know?
cool as shit.
But unfortunately, there are so many fucking caves in the area that they had no idea existed. It didn't really. They were able to evade capture.
yeah, you can't get through a cave.
Yeah, you can't really see that far under. So it was like, if they were hiding, you're not going to see them. And they tried a couple times and it didn't work. One time, I believe it was like weather kind of fucked with them. So unfortunately, it wasn't going to work. Here's a strange little tidbit that I read in several sources. And I'm going to put all my sources in our show notes because I have a ton of articles and books that you guys can devour. There's one, and I have it written down somewhere. I'll say it when it comes up. But there's one, I think it's a Tulsa newspaper that did somebody, I think it was Tim Stanley is the writer. He did like a 6-part deep dive on this.
Oh, wow.
And I want everyone to go read it because holy shit, like he killed it. He has so much information, so many little like
Tidbits,
interviews that I don't have here and all this. So like go read that for sure. I'll link it. But this little tidbit I saw everywhere and I was like, wow, that's weird.
What?
So they was very heavily circulated, like a rumor that a local medicine man had cursed the investigation and had said he did, and said that the dogs, those 3 wonder dogs, would die soon.
Oh?
And so they were like, okay. And then immediately afterwards, now he did this between the 16th and the 18th of June, I believe. And on the 18th, one of the dogs died of heat stroke.
Oh.
And then a second one of the dogs weirdly ran out into traffic and got hit by a car and died.
Oh my God.
So 2 out of the 3 dogs died after he said they were going to die.
Wow. That's a little weird.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Like really bizarre.
Does anybody know why he cursed the investigation?
No, I don't know if it was like a supporter of Hart, because he did have a lot of supporters that people thought he didn't have anything to do with this. But it's just a very strange occurrence. And if you look in any source, it is in every source. This is a heavily reported thing.
Wow, that's
And these
interesting.
dogs did die. That is fact.
That's crazy.
So,
except one.
Yeah.
Thank God that other one didn't die.
I know. It's so sad, though. They were, like, flown into Pennsylvania. They're like, hey, we're in Oklahoma. This is great. And then 2 of them are just dead, and their buddy has to go home by himself.
I'm going to need you to let me know the next time that's going to happen, like
Sorry.
way ahead of time.
Sorry, I
Like,
know.
doesthedogdie.com.
Doesthedogdie.com. Yes, it does.
Aw.
So the FBI sent out 40 agents to help the investigation. They claimed that they knew Hart was indeed in the area. They had proof of it, but they're not going to tell you the proof.
Guys, we know,
Yeah.
but like, can you go get him?
But they're like, we can't tell you how we know that.
God damn.
Like, we know it, we're just not going to. A few times he was seen by people, and dogs were sent, followed the trail, kept losing him. They just could not find this
because he's
guy.
so familiar with this land.
So familiar. And
Right.
that's a big thing.
Right.
Now, July 6th, the medical examiner comes out and says those fingerprints that they had on the bodies, he said those were not, in fact, fingerprints.
Wow.
And what's really crazy is at one point, law enforcement involved and the district attorney had all said those 3 fingerprints. They said 2 of them were smudged and one of them was a perfect fingerprint.
But then he said no, that
And
none
then
of
the
them are
medical examiner
fingerprints.
comes out and is like, none of those were fingerprints.
But that's interesting though,
So
because
that
it's like,
perfect fingerprint was not even a fingerprint?
but maybe it was, and then the curse did something to fuck with it.
No, I don't think that was it.
I don't know,
I
sister.
don't think the curse went that far. I think the curse literally was like the dogs are going to die.
I hate that.
But the fingerprints, no, I think it was just law enforcement coming out and being like, we have fingerprints. And then the medical
like the
examiner
murder
being
weapon.
like, no. Like,
That's actually
you
just an
don't.
oval shaped thing.
Yeah, that's just like, that's a piece of dirt. Like, I don't know. It's just not.
Aw.
So, like, you guys lied again.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You're not. And again, it's like, how do you think this is going to look when you go to trial, man?
Well, because you keep
You're
getting
not
people
giving-
excited, and then you're like,
And
never mind.
you're killing your credibility, and people aren't trusting you.
Right.
So it's only going to get worse. So
Good.
this is when the director of the OSBI said, and I'm going to say it exactly how he said it. I would say with certainty that Hart is guilty, because I would not say with certainty that any person who has not yet been tried were guilty, but we do have a great deal of evidence in this case that points to his guilt. I'm sorry, what?
So I know that he's guilty.
I would
because
say with
other
certainty
people
he's
aren't.
guilty, because I would not say with certainty that any person who has not yet been tried were guilty.
But he's not yet been tried.
But we have a lot of evidence that says he's guilty.
Was he high?
Like, are you okay,
Was he
sir?
drunk?
Are
Like,
you okay, sir?
What?
Like, that gave me no information at all. It's just
No.
him being like, he's guilty because guilt is a silly thing, and guilt and
Certain.
rainbows. And you're like, okay, bye. See you later. So this, yeah, it's just weird.
rainbows.
And rainbows. So
Yikes.
then they had a man named Dr. Robert R. Phillips do a personality profile of the killer.
Oh, that's always so much fun.
It is. It really is. And so he did this based on, newspaper articles describing the murder scene and anything else he could find. I got this particular information in one of the books that I'm going to link, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll link it. Don't worry. So he said that he felt the killer of the girls at Camp Scott was a sadistic psychopath.
You don't
with
say.
Sexual perversions who might repeat the heinous crime if not captured. Mentally, the killer could not tolerate the idea of rejection, and this rage overwhelmed him. The murderer was not feeble-minded. He knew right from wrong and did not act on impulse, which goes that is perfect because this was definitely planned ahead of time.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Denise
Think of the
had
note.
a gag that was homemade
Right.
in her mouth.
Right.
And they had brought all the stuff. They had put a little pinhole in that flashlight to make sure nobody saw it.
They
They
packed
had brought
it.
the cord, the rope. They had it all planned out. So this
Yeah.
was not on impulse.
And they left a note the week before
Exactly.
said, like, we're going to do this. We're on a mission.
Like, this was planned. And those two women that Gene Leroy Hart had raped, there was evidence he had planned that ahead of time.
Yeah.
So he definitely didn't work on impulse.
I never feel safe.
He said the killer was cool, calculated, and probably kept the camp under surveillance before
Yup.
he moved in. He came prepared with the flashlight, blunt instrument, and tape, and was in complete control until he became caught up, which caused him to become careless. And he said the killer tried to bring order to the chaos with a futile attempt to wipe up the blood in the tent. Something happened, and he was frightened away, leaving behind his flashlight and other objects, which makes so much sense because when you look at it, why the fuck are you trying to wipe it up?
Right, like
with
you're
the
not gonna
bed
be able
sheets?
to.
Like you're not gonna that you're not gonna be able to wipe up blood, especially off of wood.
Yeah, that
like
doesn't
the
make
wood's
any
gonna
sense.
soak it in. It's not gonna happen, and you're not gonna wipe it up with the bed sheets. And where the fuck are you gonna put the bed sheets? And then you just shove them into the sleeping bags with the girls.
So he just got, like, crazy and,
So
like,
I think
needed
that
to clean
was
up.
his moment of like, I need to bring order to this chaos, so I'm gonna try to clean it up. And then he probably came clear-minded and was like, this is not
Gonna do
a
anything.
logical thing to
And
do.
I need to get out of here.
I have to get out of here. So he just left everything.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant, with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got three actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them, and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders. These long dog days of summer, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Yes.
Now, September 22nd, 1977, 2 of the victims' parents filed a $3 million lawsuit against Camp Scott's Magic Empire Council. We are going to return to this suit later because it goes on for a while and it's very frustrating, the outcome.
It should have been like the money granted on day one.
It really should have. So while they're going through that, finally, 10 months after the crimes, Agent Larry Bowles, who had been working with a Cherokee informant, was told by this informant that Hart was staying with a friend and a local medicine man, like this elderly guy named Sam Pigeon. He was in Cookson Hills, about 45 miles away from Camp Scott. Mm-hmm. He said this particular informant said that Pigeon truly believed Hart was being railroaded, and that in particular, he, along with others in the community, thought Sheriff Weaver had a personal vendetta against him for evading him.
Which was not wrong.
And he just wanted to pin this on him. He said that he had been staying in a shack with Pigeon for about 8 months. So it makes sense because it means that about 2 months he's been running around those woods trying to evade capture. And then for 8 months, he had a place to stay.
And that's why
they
they couldn't
stopped
find
finding him.
And nothing was really, like, they weren't, like, finding a lot of stuff.
Exactly. And all the crazy shit happened in those first few months where he was running around out there.
That's nuts.
So it was April 6th, 1978. 8 OSBI agents stormed the home of Sam Pigeon. They took Gene Leroy Hart into custody without any issues. He was wearing women's eyeglasses. Oh. And the photos of him, you see, I'll post photos of him being captured. They are like cat eye little women's. Which obviously it's fine if a man wants to wear like quote unquote women's eyeglasses, but what is very specific with this is his obsession with women's eyeglasses and the fact that women's eyeglasses were stolen from the camp and they were placed at the crime scene.
Girl.
And women's eyeglasses were found in those caves that are connected to Gene Leroy Hart.
That's insane.
And he was fucking wearing them. They're on his fucking face.
Yeah, that's creepy.
That's
you
insane.
Can't tell me that he didn't have anything to do with this.
No, he had something to do with this,
I think there was more people involved, but he is absolutely one of those people.
For sure.
I'm sorry.
And
not sorry.
There is a book called Somebody Cry for the Children. This book, I tried to buy it, but it's out of print now. So the only copy on Amazon is $119. And I was like, love you so much, I'm not going to buy that book.
Honestly, that's not even bad, because sometimes when they're out of print,
like
it's like
$900.
Yeah, and you're like, who is going to buy that?
And I'm like, love books so much. And not going to lie, there was a part of me. I literally looked at John and I was like, what would you do?
And he was I was like, it's like on TikTok where they're like, girl, don't do it. And you're like, I'm not going to do it. I was just thinking about it.
And I was like, I did it. But I didn't do it. Because I literally looked at John and was like, hypothetically, if I bought a $119 book, and he was like, what? And he's like, does this book tell you like the secrets of the universe? Like, what is it? And I was like, it's just like,
you're like, well, it might.
I was like, it's just an old book about some murder. Okay. He was like, do what you do, but like, just think it through. And I was like,
see, I just got a gift card, so I would have used my gift card for that.
See, I should have thought of that. But I was like, all right, so whatever. But I did find some like excerpts of the book.
Oh, cool.
And in it, Larry Bowles says that when he first got Hart, when he was leading him out of the shack, he said, you killed those little girls, didn't you? And Hart's reply was, you'll never pin it on me.
So that's not denying
no,
it.
I didn't do it. It's you're never going to pin it on me. And he was right.
And that's just him being a cocky motherfucker.
Because he knows.
Right.
Now, what is interesting, and this is when things start this is when I think Sheriff Weaver and his bros there started fucking up their own investigation. So now what's interesting is they search the home, the shack. They find nothing of real importance, nothing connected to the crimes. It's just like regular shit.
Well, he'd be an idiot to bring it there.
Exactly. And then they do a second search after the fact, after he's arrested. Mm-hmm. And suddenly, they find 2 items.
Oh, crazy.
A toy corncob pipe and a mirror. Mm-hmm. Now, they were apparently stolen from one of the counselors at the camp. So it connects him to the camp. And it was stolen that night, apparently.
Okay, so that is weird.
The idea that these were planted, though, comes into play because why didn't they find those in the first one?
Yeah, it's
and what we're going to find out later.
You're not searching a mansion.
And what we're going to find out later is that when they came out and said, well, these were stolen from the counselors that night, I don't know if that was completely the truth, and we'll find that out during the trial. So when they come out, they're like, whoop, we got these 2 things that were stolen from the camp that night, and everybody's like, well, there it is. Boom. Shakalaka. You got them. Like, there it is.
Everybody just said boom shakalaka.
They all just were like, boom shakalaka. You've got it. So
my dad says that all the time.
I love that.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Sorry. But he was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. He pled not guilty. He was initially taken to the state penitentiary at McAlester, Oklahoma, where he had been serving a prison term of first-degree rape before he went and escaped at the Mays County Jail in 1973.
You know, the other thing is, like, once they catch you, you're going away again anyways, like, for life.
That's the other thing.
Because you got 305 years.
So just admit that you did it.
But you can tell he's a
cocky little fucker.
He is.
Yeah, and he knows. He's like, they're not going to get me on this.
So why would I say it?
So why would I even admit to it? I'm going to let... And I truly think he thinks that he likes that those parents will never know.
Yeah, because he likes
that. He's an evil... Anybody who can do something like this...
It's like the
beyond the realm.
The polyclass,
yeah.
Yep.
They just like it. They like fucking with the parents. It's part of the whole thing. They did say that they would seek the death penalty if he was found guilty. The trial began March 9th, 1979. Unfortunately, right away, shit was not going well for the prosecution.
Oh, no.
The district attorney, Sid Wise, they found out that he had signed a book contract with the editor of the prior Daily News, and he was agreeing to share case information for the book once the trial concluded. So obviously he couldn't be on the case anymore because that is a massive conflict of interest.
Yes.
And so he had to hand it over to Tulsa County DA Buddy Fallis to be the principal prosecutor, which is fine because Buddy Fallis was great, but that doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Already it's like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
So,
why are you already selling a story?
Yeah. So the Cherokee Nation Tribal Council actually donated $12,000 to Gene Leroy Hart's defense. And when I first saw that, I was like, why, everybody? Why'd you do that? But they said it was not because they thought he was innocent. Mm-hmm. They did not they were like, we don't know. But they said they wanted to ensure that he received a fair trial, and they didn't think he would have the money to buy a defense team that could give him a fair trial. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, what? Because at first I was like, do you really? And then they were like, we don't think he's innocent, but here you go. Here's a fair trial. And I was like, I think you could have just let him, sink or swim, motherfucker. I don't know. Like, you've been living in a cave for a while. That's your fault.
I think,
I don't know what to tell you.
Sometimes I think it's best to stay quiet.
Sometimes it's just, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just, all right.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I wouldn't donate to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, but like...
Unless I thought that they were innocent.
Yeah, for sure. But...
And even then, I feel like I would have like a little shadow of it out and be like, well, what if they did?
I just don't even... I think I'd just stay out of it. I'd be like, what, I'm going to be over here doing...
I'm going to leave that to the legal system.
I'm going to go do a crossword.
They don't always do a great job, but let's...
In this case,
flip a coin.
Yeah, just let the chips fall where they may, okay?
Live and let live.
And also, Gene Leroy Hart, regardless of whether he did this,
people.
is a literal monster.
Yeah, he's a rapist.
Maybe he's just... I think he's one of those throwaways that we can just go, yeah, bye. That didn't work out. Let's just leave him over there. But, that happened. So he did a great defense team. He had a wonderful defense team.
That makes me mad.
And a lot of people in the community believed in him and his innocence. They really
you
did.
said he was like this like star kid growing up, so people probably just couldn't believe it.
They liked him, and he was also very charismatic in front of a camera. He was very likable. He had a very Ted Bundy way about him. Yeah, so that's not cool. And at one point, people he knew were actually saying those pregnant women he raped and tried to murder were just trying to get away from their husbands, and they went with him willingly. So they went with him into the trunk and were bound willingly and then raped willingly, which is a conundrum in itself. And then they were taken to a pond and willingly had duct tape put over all of their air holes and then willingly shoved into brush and then willingly had to escape from that and then willingly told the story of how they didn't willingly do any of that.
Willingly.
Strange.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Strange. Weird.
I don't...
Seems legit.
I wouldn't do that.
Seems legit to me.
Yeah.
I see how you connected those weirdos.
Everything is irritating.
It's just like, okay, Jan.
Yeah,
okay.
that's irritating.
So they couldn't,
Sure, Jan.
Sure, Jan. Whatever. All right, Jan. So they couldn't, unfortunately, in the trial, use the case of the pregnant women they couldn't bring it up in trial because it was a different crime, and they couldn't bring it up because they didn't want it to bias the jury against him.
See, I don't agree with that, because that
happened a couple times.
That happened in the I can't think of it right now. The child case that Sarah Foxwell.
Yes,
they couldn't
bring up that he's a literal monster pedophile.
In another case, that could have prevented anything happening to Sarah Foxwell.
Exactly.
So it's like, you're not going to put that in this case, and then what if?
And that's what bothers me.
Re-offend.
It's like when in legal terms, you're like, it makes sense in legal terms, but it makes no sense
in life.
In real terms.
No.
Like, a person's past, sure. Like, should you be judged solely on your past? Not always. But
if you're doing really shitty things in your past, maybe.
And it's also like, if he has actually raped and attempted to murder people before, maybe we should talk about this when he's accused of raping and murdering some other people. I feel like that's an okay thing.
Permissible.
Yeah, I feel like that, but it wasn't. So that sucks. So they were like, hey, Gene, where were you the night that those kids were murdered? Because that would help you if you had somewhere that you
I was out.
And he said, I was at, joke's on you guys, because I was at my uncle's house in Tulsa. Okay. And they were like, all right, we got to talk to that uncle. And he was like, ooh, bummer, he's dead.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So
And he was like, ooh, bummer.
it sucks because he is no longer alive to corroborate that. But, you know, I was there.
Yeah.
And they were like, so no one can say that you were there. And he was like, my uncle can. But he's dead. So,
He would have. He would have told you.
He would have told you.
Happily.
He would have He would have sang it to you that I was there.
But
He would have talked about the card games we played. We had a great night that night.
But like I said,
me and my uncle.
he died.
Me and my uncle.
And you know what's weird? He actually died before I got there.
yeah,
But
so weird. He died before I was arrested. It's so weird.
he actually died like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's so weird. He died like 55 years ago before I was alive. But like, I was there.
I actually never knew him.
Yeah, it's so cool. So yeah, so that didn't help him. Everybody was like, cool, awesome.
Okay.
The
Gene.
physical evidence, like the hairs, the boot print, there was semen found, the fingerprints, they were all heavily debated during the trial because it's not like in the 70s forensic science was like tip top you don't stop. Like they were literally
And people
like,
didn't necessily like believe in science yet.
yeah,
so.
and they couldn't do a whole lot with these things. It was great to have, but like I think they were holding on to them being like someday we'll be able to test
Well, and I think
these.
people were still like, I don't know, sounds like magic to me.
Sounds kind of kooky.
That's the devil.
What? Dina?
I was like, what?
Erdina? What is that? What is that?
Evidence?
That's crazy.
I don't know what evidence is.
What is evidence? Semen? What? What are you talking about? I don't know. Semen? What? So they were like, yeah, we have all this stuff, but a lot of it doesn't tell anything.
Awesome.
And it certainly wasn't proving beyond a shadow of a doubt. So that's a bad thing in a trial.
Yeah.
The hairs were looked at by a chemist for the defense, and they said it bore a strong resemblance microscopically to Gene Leroy Hart's hair, but he could not confirm that they were from his head.
Right.
Obviously, later we found out that they're like, oh yeah, that's complete bullshit.
They were like, it
nothing
was
works.
black hair and he had black hair.
Literally, that's it. So there was also the issue with the shoe prints not matching his size, which of course the defense brings up and is like, he wasn't there. And they were like, but what if somebody else was there too? And they were like, doesn't matter. He wasn't there. That's not his shoe print.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
And if you hear that as a jury member, I would be like,
course.
okay, so like, I don't give a fuck about that shoe print.
Exactly.
If anything, that just tells me he didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. So, and no fingerprints were able to be found to match him anywhere. There were no
course.
fingerprints on that flashlight, not on the crowbar, nowhere.
Right.
Of course, he could be wearing clothes, but whatever.
Well, he probably was because he was
exactly.
prepared.
Because he knew what he was doing. So bringing back that mirror and that toy corncob pipe that they were like, whoa,
Yeah.
boom shakalaka. This is what we found in the camp, and it was now in his shack. That's the evidence. Well, they found it on the second search, which already is like
Not great.
chin scratcher right there. And the counselor that these belong to testified at the trial on the stand that those items were hers. She said, those are mine. And she said they were in a trunk that she brought with her to camp. And she said that the weird thing was they were in that trunk, and that trunk was taken by police for evidence.
Uh-huh.
And she said when it was returned to her a couple of weeks later,
That's when they were
those
missing.
items were not in the trunk.
Okay.
So those items, according to this woman, were in police custody and then were gone and suddenly ended up in this shack.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this clears him because there's so much more that goes against him.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that definitely put doubt in the minds of the jury. I mean, especially regarding the conduct of the police at this point.
Right.
It went back to Sheriff Weaver being too focused on this. And I do think that might have been planted. I really do. I think
It sounds a little weird.
I think he had everything to do with this crime. I think they got too far into this, and he got too like gung-ho about proving it, and he started making fuck-ups like that, and he could have just let it roll.
He should have just let it do its thing.
Because that was huge. So then there's the semen evidence, and this was like a big bone of contention during everything. So the semen found at the scene and on the bodies contained traces of sperm.
Right.
The sperm...
I just like screamed that.
Right.
Right.
The sperm was determined to be from a non-white male, which he is a Native American, and who had type O blood.
Which
he has type O blood, and that is rare. So this all matched Hart, but the fact that sperm was found would indicate that the man who this belonged to is capable of producing sperm. Well, Gene Leroy Hart had a vasectomy, which is supposed to stop sperm from being ejaculated with the semen, and the defense was like, boom, like that's
smoking
it.
gun.
Vasectomy, not him. Like,
But
we can
vasectomies
totally.
don't always work.
Well, let me tell you.
Tell me.
It was discovered by the prosecution that Hart's vasectomy failed and was only really partially done. So what does partially done mean?
What the fuck is a
that?
partially done vasectomy?
So-
oh my God.
A partially done vasectomy.
Yeah.
And so he did produce sperm, but a large amount of his sperm was deformed and not viable. Like, this is not sperm that would likely produce a child, like a pregnancy. So it was like funky ass sperm.
What?
Which makes it even more like specific and
like
very
mutated, like,
it is. It's like weird
Teenage Mutant
deformed
Ninja Turtle sperm.
Yes, literally.
Donatello sperm.
This is like, this is like the Jason from Friday the 13th of sperm.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly. So that was the kind of sperm that would be produced by him having a partially performed vasectomy. It like didn't take. And when they tested him after his arrest, he did produce that kind of sperm.
Oh, shit.
Well, a ton of the sperm seen in the semen on the scene were deformed and not viable.
Okay.
That to me is
Hi.
like, hello.
Right.
That's so specific.
Oh my God. That makes it even more nightmarish.
I know, it does. And the prosecution ended up bringing this guy named Larry Dry to the stand, and he was a prisoner. And he broke out of prison with Hart at one point. He said that he and Hart had stayed at those caves that he was staying in together. He was like, I know he stays in those caves. I was with him at one point. One of those caves, the one where the most stuff was found, was actually like 100 feet from the foundation of Hart's childhood home.
Wow.
Which puts it in like a very creepy thing.
That is wild.
So wild. So the defense also indicated another man in the crimes, which looked really good at first, but it kind of falls apart. His name was William Stevens. He was a convicted kidnapper and rapist who was actually in prison in Kansas.
That's gross.
His cellmate, Dwayne Peters, told OSBI that he had told him he committed the crimes. He was like, he flat out told me. But we all know that prisoners say that a lot.
I was just going to say, did he want a later sentence?
Yeah. Also, this woman named Joyce Payne, who was the mother of a friend of Stevens's, said she saw the exact red 6-volt flashlight in his possession. She was like, I know I saw that flashlight with the pinhole and everything.
Oh, shit. Because I was
But-
going to say, like, a lot of people could have a red flashlight.
Unfortunately, it turned out that Joyce and this Dwayne guy had some kind of thing going on, and they were trying to get him a lighter sentence. So it looks like it was like a big thing to go after Stevens to kind of get
feeling.
people. And the
Let's
hair.
not lie about things.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Let's not lie.
And the hair and semen did not match him. Unfortunately. But there was like another thing where this waitress in another town a long way away the next morning after the murders saw William Stevens, and he was like bloody and like very stressed out.
Okay.
So there's that, but that was never really like,
They didn't look into that.
because they were like, oh, the hair and semen doesn't match him.
That's
so.
weird, because that's like in the West Memphis 3 case,
Yes,
that bloody
the
guy
Bojangles
at
thing.
Bojangles.
Yeah,
and
a lot
nothing
of-
ever comes of it.
There's a lot of like parallels.
Yeah.
He denied his involvement till the very end. He ended up dying in prison in 1984. I believe he was stabbed to death, but he's also said that to have killed himself, but I think he was killed. So, yeah. In an interview with the Oklahoman on June 14th, 2007, someone who, they don't even say who it is, it's like an anonymous source, said that they heard, quote, quite a bit of vehicular traffic on a remote road near the camp between 2:30 and 3 a.m. the night of the murders. Mm-hmm. Nothing came of this.
What?
Like, this is right when it was probably happening,
Yeah.
and no one ever looked, like, nothing ever came. Like, what? You heard people in cars on that road? What the fuck? And no one's finding this out?
Right, and those are like not really traveled
It's
roads.
never mentioned again.
What?
It's in no other thing. It's like, no, did this just float
But then,
away?
like, what are you going to do with that?
It's just, what
This
the fuck?
many years later.
It's just crazy to me. I'm like, what the fuck? And then,
Yeah.
like, go talk to that person again and be like, what do you mean, like, quite a bit of vehicular traffic? What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Does it mean, like, a highway? Does it mean, like,
That's weird.
2 or 3 cars? Like, what does this mean? It's just very strange to me.
That is weird.
So Hart was, he was acquitted. They came out and they gave him a non-guilty verdict.
Oh, shit.
And it only took 7.5 hours over 2 days to return the verdict of not guilty.
I wonder if he would have been found guilty if they hadn't like planted the suspicion or made the suspicion that the police planted
I think
shit.
a lot of that probably put a lot of doubt in the eyes of the jurors. And they also just said, unfortunately, there's no physical evidence.
Yeah.
Because also, they also pointed to those pictures that were found in the cave where that's how they were tying Gene to that cave that was within a mile of the camp.
What did they say about that?
Well, one of the guards at the prison that he's, was developing those photos for that prison guard at, he said he had seen those exact photos on Sheriff Weaver's desk at one point.
Oh.
And Sheriff Weaver was like, no, here's like an evidence. It was like, he had Gene Leroy Hart.
Yeah.
He had him sign an evidence thing saying that those pictures belonged to him.
Uh-huh.
But he could have forced him to do that.
Well, yeah.
Like, that doesn't really prove anything. But yeah, one of the guards did say he saw those photos on them, which kind of is like, so did he put him in there to tie him to the cave to put him closer to the thing? Like, yeah. And you don't know. Again,
then again, like, why were those there?
And again, he did it. Like,
Yeah,
he
like,
did it.
he definitely did it.
just had help. But it's like, but these things are really, though, that put huge nuggets of doubt in the
jury's mind.
And they couldn't, within good minds,
think about
convict
it.
him.
Would you be able to?
I mean, because you can't look at anything else. You have to look at what's laid in front of you. And
like
there
you
wasn't
said,
enough.
the death penalty's on the table too.
That's the other
so
thing.
So that makes you think way harder.
So I think this whole thing was it was gone about in the wrong way.
Yeah.
So they debated or deliberated for 6 hours the first day, went home, and then only took a half hour something, or an hour and a half. And they were done. So not guilty. The supporters of Hart cheered in the courtroom, which they can go fuck themselves because he's a rapist and attempted murderer.
Well, that
at
100%.
the very least.
And then also, I'm sure the victims' families were there. So what? Contain yourself.
Oh yeah. In fact, the victims' families said that they were sitting there completely numb and in shock hearing this not guilty, and they said around us it was like a baseball game, like people cheering at a baseball game, and they were like, it was
lost
surreal.
Our 8, 9, and 10-year-olds. Can you just?
It doesn't
calm
matter
down?
how you feel about this fucker, because first of all, at the very least, like I said, he's a fucking rapist, kidnapper, and murderer, attempted murderer.
Yup.
At the very least.
Yup.
So that's gross that you're cheering for his innocence. That's insane. But on top of that, it's contain your fucking self.
Right.
Because there are parents of murdered babies in this room, and it doesn't matter what happened. They're devastated.
Right.
Get to control. It's just that pisses me off. If you were in that courtroom and you jumped up and cheered, go fuck yourself.
Honestly.
That is so fucked up. So luckily, even though he was acquitted, remember, he escaped from prison.
Yeah, and he got 305 years.
So he still had to serve his 305-year sentence for his previous rapes, attempted murders, and prison escape because he's a garbage person.
Jesus.
So even though he was acquitted, he can go fuck himself. And he did. He did go fuck himself because he was only there until June 4th, 1979, only 2 months, when he lifted some weights one day, went for a jog in the prison yard, and then he just died on the prison yard of a heart attack.
Yes, goodbye.
So he did go fuck himself.
Literally.
Bye, Gene.
So he had a heart attack in the prison yard.
He just had a fucking heart attack, which is and the parents of the kids said that it was a relief, but also frustration
because they never
really
had
got
justice.
that closure. But he's gone, so that's something.
But he went to his grave never admitting it. That's so fucked up.
And that amazing deep dive thing that I told you about, it was in the it was by Tim Stanley in the Tulsa World newspaper. You can find it online. I'll link it. And it's in it. It has Betty Milner, who is Denise's mother, saying people would come up to. This was after the trial. She said people would come up to me on the street and say, "Hart didn't kill your daughter."
I would punch them in the face.
Which, die.
Literally.
If you are a person who would do that, die.
I'm sorry, you're asking for me to punch your teeth out.
That is, I don't give a shit who Hart is to you.
No.
What you think about him. What a fucking subhuman, just bucket of vomit you have to be to walk up
Can
to
you imagine?
A grieving mother whose daughter was raped, bludgeoned, and murdered at summer camp
on her first night of summer camp.
And sit there and be hey, fuck you. You probably did it, you murderer.
Right.
You have to be a murderer to be that evil. That's
Seriously.
insane.
No, that's literally asking to get your teeth
gross.
Knocked out of your head.
So gross. So she said that, and then Lori Farmer's father, Charles Bow.
Oh.
He said, quote, "The atmosphere was not hostile, but it wasn't far from it." And he said, in the courtroom, there was definitely subtle intimidation by Hart sympathizers.
That's ridiculous.
You're evil fucks. Like, you're evil fucks.
Who knows? Maybe those people were working with him.
Yeah, you don't know. And he said that walking into local restaurants after this, he said you'd see jars collecting funds for Hart. So he's like, we'd literally be going out to dinner, and there was a jar on like the waitress stand.
Wow.
The hostess stand with like his face on it.
I would knock it over.
Collecting money for him.
I would knock it over
while
every
they're
single
grieving
time.
their children. So, like I said earlier, that they had filed a civil suit against, and this was against the magic,
Scott.
yeah, the whole thing, the magic fucking council there. They lost this civil suit.
That is unreal
And
to me.
During the whole thing, they presented numerous events that we have already talked about at the camp that definitely put these girls being placed in imminent danger.
Yeah.
And there are newspaper articles, and I'll post some, as many as I can, that that are girls finding people in their tents only to have the dude run away when they go in the tent.
fuck?
A girl having someone break into their cabin but screaming so loud that the person left. Put that with the threatening note found, the slashes in the tent flaps, and everything else that happened. They are at fault for not keeping those girls safe. The fact that they were not found at fault is a travesty.
I don't understand how they weren't.
That's a travesty. These parents deserved that fucking money.
But I'm glad that it shut down because it never opened up again.
No,
right?
it never opened up again. And Barbara Day, who was the director that year, she was the new director that year.
Yikes.
That was her first year, and she said she could not have directed the camp if she had known the history of intrusions, burglaries, and thefts. She said she had no idea there were that many.
I don't blame her.
And she said if she had known, she would not have directed it. So
Yeah.
that place is fucked. And Barbara Day and camp counselor D. Elder, who was
Yeah.
one of the ones, they said both of them were in the dark about any of these prior things. Neither one of them knew about it.
It sounds like they were just trying to cover up all this shady shit so
Yeah.
that they could do their Girl Scout
and get
stuff
their
that
money.
year.
And that's all. That was about money. It's so fucked. They did appeal, but they upheld the judgment that it was
Wow.
against them. So
That's just wrong.
in 1989, DNA testing had come a long way at that point. The semen sample was retested, and the DNA testing proved that 3 of 5 was a match for Hart, his DNA.
I think he did it.
And it shows that there was a 1 in 7,700 in Native Americans chance, which is a pretty good odd.
Yeah.
That it is him. It's obviously not the
Smoking gun.
1 in a million kind of thing, but whatever, it's still there.
It's a big number.
Then just last year, or just a few years ago, in I think it was 2016, 2017, the sheriff of Mays County actually started raising funds to carry out more advanced DNA testing, and they've been doing that since I think 2016.
Oh, that's good.
And they've been trying to get it retested. Not really any answers are coming. At one point there was upwards of $50,000 raised to do this, but it's really expensive, obviously.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to find anything that has come out since then.
I want something to come out so bad.
That could either mean that nothing has, because these samples were stored horrifically. They were not stored well.
Right.
And put that with the age of them, and that they're deteriorated to the
Yeah.
point of not being able to use. But I don't know if it's maybe they can't use them because of that, or maybe they are finding something and they're just
Keeping
being
it close
quiet
to the
about it because they're
chest.
trying to see it out. I don't
And
know.
actually trying to do it the right way this time.
Let's hope. Let's hope that's what it is. The son of H.J. Scotty in Florence.
Oh,
Scott,
yeah.
He would have inherited that whole thing. He was pissed that it was closed and thought that it should have been reopened, which I say, are you serious?
I'm not even going to comment to that.
Are you serious?
Buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, friend?
Why don't we think before
Really,
we
friend?
Why don't we think before we say things?
Yeah, you got to think before you speak.
Yeah.
It's something you learn when you're little.
Yeah.
Got to do that.
It's hard, but we all try.
So, you know how I mentioned that Richard Gousset, Michelle's father, had done some great things?
Yeah.
He actually helped the state legislature pass the Oklahoma Crime Victims Bill of Rights.
Wow.
And it was basically, I can put a link for that too, just so you can read it and see what he did, because it's amazing. It's all basically so the families of victims know the procedures the entire way through, things in the Bill of Rights, there's something that says like they need to be placed in a waiting area that's like never crosses paths with the defense and their like the defense team and the person, like the defendant.
Yeah.
Like little things like that
But that
need
matter.
to be in writing, you
Right.
know? Yeah. Which is amazing. And then he also founded the Oklahoma Crime Victims Compensation Board.
Wow.
Which are huge accomplishments. And if you look at his obituary, it states all these things. He was like an amazing person.
Oh.
Her family never changed her bedroom. Her calendar in her bedroom still reads in 1977.
Wow.
And
that
they said
gave
it wasn't
me,
like a shrine. It's just that they just didn't want to change it.
No.
Like, it's just there was no reason.
That made me think of the Lovely Bones, and I got that.
Yes,
thing
I
in
thought
my-
of that too.
I got a little throat lump.
I thought of that too.
That's really sad.
Sherry Farmer, Lori's mom, she actually founded the Oklahoma chapter of the Parents of Murdered Children,
Wow.
which is like the grief group. And weirdly enough, they also showcase that in the Paradise Lost.
Yeah, they do.
Talking about the Arkansas chapter. Of
Yeah.
that. And I was like, whoa, this is weirdly. Like,
That is
just-
really weird.
So, like I said, I think that Hart did it, and he did it with help. That's
Yeah.
what I think. And I think there's people that we need to find that did it.
Maybe we'll get a deathbed confession.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're right. Maybe they are finding stuff because
I hope so.
the DNA testing got better.
I really, really hope so.
You would have to think that some kind of like fabric or fingerprint or something was left behind.
It's unfortunate because it was so poorly managed, and that crime scene was poorly taken care of, and then like
It was so long ago.
There was the palm print that they found in the tent that they were all excited about, and it turned out it was one of the fucking OSBI agents that had accidentally left a palm print.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then like, you know, one of the photographers I read, like a crime scene photographer, went home and he saw that he had blood on his shoes when he went home, and it's like, and he was like, there was so much blood, like you couldn't not walk through it, like it was everywhere. And it's like, but like, I feel like that's not good. Like, why
no,
you
let's
had it on your
tape that off
shoes?
then. Also, can you imagine realizing that when you get
That
home?
you have a child's blood on your shoes when you go home?
Oh,
No,
that would freak me the
no,
fuck
I
out.
could not. But yeah, so unfortunately, you know, Hart did go to prison for something else. He did die in prison, so goodbye.
Yeah.
But that's all we got right now.
I wish that he lived a little longer and had to like suffer in jail.
That's what I wish. That's what I wish. Because he obviously didn't like jail because he
No.
escaped it twice. So it would have been nice to see him kind of have to live that out.
What a really sad case.
It's a really sad case.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad. That's why I was like, you know what? This could probably be like 3 or 4 parts if I really wanted it to be. But I got to get out of here.
I gotta go.
I gotta get outta
My
here.
Uber is here.
I cannot sit here in this sludge for too much long. Like, I learned that lesson with Myra Hindley and Ian Brady. I spent too long in there.
Yeah, and I was subjected to some shit for way too long, and so were all of you.
Yeah. That was way too long of a
I
deep
was
dive.
in a different headspace for weeks.
I'm still in a different headspace.
Same. I say it all the time. Same. And
That's the one that destroyed me the most.
I was thinking about this case today too, because I just like it really is just sad, and also
it's horrible.
There's a lot of woods behind my apartment, and I have like huge windows in my bedroom that are always open.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and close those.
We're gonna close them.
And by open, I mean the curtains are open.
Yeah, I
The
was
windows are
gonna say.
literally never open.
Fresh air is for dead people.
Yeah,
let's
they're
be real.
I think they've been locked from the time that I moved in here.
Yeah, I don't
I've
think
never opened a window.
I've like never opened my bedroom window.
No, never.
I think it's like painted over. You can't even open it.
Yeah, fuck that.
But
Well,
yeah, so that is the case of the Oklahoma Girl Scout murders.
good job.
And it is Kiowa, not Kiowa.
Yeah, you
Sorry
idiot.
about that.
God damn it,
And I think
Alaina.
everything else I pronounced correctly, so good on me.
You probably didn't.
It's
No,
fine,
I'm
though.
totally
I
kidding.
feel like you probably didn't.
Well, find us on Instagram and let us know if she pronounced everything else correctly.
At Morbid Podcast.
Hit us up on Twitter.
At A Morbid Podcast.
Send us a Gmail. I have been loving the case suggestions lately.
Yes.
And my case next week, we actually got like 4 suggestions to do
Oh,
it.
I love the case suggestions.
Yeah, they're my favorite. So yeah, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you're a big douche knocker and you just suck.
Don't be a douche knocker.
I just made that up.
Don't do it.
Love y'all. Follow me on TikTok.
Ever ask yourself, why do some pads feel so crunchy? Meet Kotex Bamboo, the pad changing the game when it comes to comfort. Kotex Bamboo is gentle on skin with a breathable viscose top layer made from bamboo, so you can really feel the difference. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the all-new Kotex, completely redesigned to meet your needs. You asked, we heard.
You know that feeling when you come home late from work and those puppy dog eyes just pierce right through your soul? Or when you're packing for a trip and your cat refuses to leave your suitcase? Yeah, we've all been there. Pet parent guilt is real. And you know what? It's completely normal. That's exactly why Hill's Pet Nutrition exists. They understand that being a pet parent means being human, with all of our imperfections and daily juggling acts. Hill's science-led nutrition helps you give more love than humanly possible. Whether it's those long work days or trying to balance attention between multiple pets, Hill's Pet Nutrition gets it. They've created science-based nutrition that supports your pet's lifelong health, so you can feel confident even when life gets hectic. Because you're only human, there's Hill's. Science does more. Ready to let go of the guilt? Find the right food at hillspet.com/podcast. That's hillspet.com/podcast.